So, in the 0-90 living philosophy, every single thing we do consciously, it starts with just one moment. And that moment, it's called stage one, the spark. This is really all about finding the courage to just begin.
But, to really get what the spark is, we have to go back a step to the silence it comes from. Just imagine for a second this state of pure, limitless potential, like a space where anything and everything is possible, but nothing has actually happened yet.
Okay, so how do we get from that pure silence into real, meaningful action? Well, it all kicks off with this single quiet moment of just noticing. Let's dive into that transition. And that brings us right to the spark. You can think of it as the exact moment that field of potential kind of wakes up and becomes aware of itself. It's the very first step out of that void, the beginning of an awareness you can actually do something with. Let's put these two states side by side to really see the difference. That silence before the spark, sometimes it's called aditi, it's like the entire ocean, right? Just vast, without boundaries, totally whole. But stage one, the spark, that's like the very first reflection you see on the surface of that ocean. It's this super subtle shift from just being to consciously witnessing what's going on.
And on a deeper level, this is a really profound moment. It's almost like consciousness itself is looking in a mirror. This is the birth of your inner witness, that silent, steady part of you that's always just observing. In some traditions, they actually call this energy Shiva.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the theory behind it. But what does this actually feel like in your own life? How do you know when you're in stage one? Let's talk about that experience.
Well, the main way you experience it is as an intuition awakening. And it's not some loud voice shouting at you. It's more like a gentle whisper. It's that first little nudge from that field of potential, just stirring something inside you. It's that moment you simply notice something.
And this is the huge shift in perspective we're talking about. You stop getting totally swept away by your thoughts and feelings. Instead, you kind of take a step back and become the one who's just watching them. You're not the storm anymore. You're the calm, quiet center watching it all happen.
Honestly, this mental shift is everything. It's the difference between saying I am anxious and noticing, oh, I'm having a feeling of anxiety. See that little change? It creates space. The I becomes the witness, and the thought is just something passing through your awareness. Now, this might sound super simple, right? But our minds, they are incredibly powerful. And staying in that observer state, especially when your feelings are really intense, that takes a special kind of inner strength. Yeah, it takes courage. And here's why it's such a challenge. We all get caught in these things called unconscious loops. It starts with a trigger, right? A thought, a feeling, and then bam, an automatic reaction pulls you into this cycle. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's feeling down, and the loop just feeds itself, it gets stronger, and pretty soon it can feel like there's no way out. Which, of course, leads to the most important question of all. When you're stuck in that spiral, how on earth do you get out? The answer is so simple, but it's also incredibly profound. You get out by courageously returning to stage one, by becoming that neutral witness again. The key isn't to fight the feeling, it's to take a step back and just observe it without any judgment. That is the act of courage. All right, so if being the witness is the key, how do we get better at it? Because this isn't just a one-time trick, it's a practice, a muscle we can actually build over time. The core mindset you really want to build is simply this: witness first. Doesn't matter what comes up, a brilliant idea, a wave of fear, a pang of sadness. Your first job is to just notice it, to see it, without immediately grabbing onto it or judging it or letting it become who you are. And we can totally strengthen this ability with some simple daily practices. For example, doing a body scan in the morning is a great way to train your witness muscle. Or throughout the day, just taking one single conscious breath can anchor you right back into the present moment. Or you could just set a simple intention for the day to learn from your experiences, which automatically puts you in that observer's seat.
So when you feel one of those loops starting to spin up, you can use this really simple technique. Step 1, notice your mind starting to speed up and react. Step 2, just pause, take a breath. Step 3, ask yourself, what am I experiencing right now? And finally, step 4, separate the I, the part of you that's watching, from the experience itself. That's how you create that little bit of space you need.
Now, getting good at this stage of pure awareness, it isn't the end of the journey. In fact, it's the essential, absolutely non-negotiable foundation for everything that's about to come next.
And this is so, so important. Having a steady foundation of pure awareness is the prerequisite for any kind of creative action. You have to be able to hold a calm, clear space first, that's the witness, before you can fill it with creative energy. Because without that calm container, creative energy can just turn into chaos. So, how does the spark get the ground ready for what's next? Well, first, it's where we notice a desire. That's the raw material for anything we want to create. Second, it acts like a calm container, making sure that creative energy gets channeled consciously instead of just being wasted on reactions. And third, it's the true starting gun for the entire creative cycle. And we should never, ever underestimate the power of that first little spark of desire. As this quote reminds us, desire really is the starting point of all achievement. It all begins with that one single witness spark in the quiet of your own awareness. So this leaves us with a simple but powerful question. That spark of awareness, it's always there, always available to you. The real choice is, once you've noticed it, what will you choose to ignite?